Good morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever time of the day it is for you. Um, I had um, someone ask me while I was at the gas station going to get soda because I can't live without it. Um, if I had um, a girl product on me, and luckily I tend to carry a few in my purse, but I guess that automatically brings up the question of people like, oh, so you're on your period and stuff like that. I'm gonna be completely honest. Um, when I was when I first started my period at 12, um, my periods only lasted 5 days, and it was every other month. It was not every month; it was every other month. Um, my periods shift a lot. They've gotten more steady, but everyone thinks that I'm an alien and that I'm just simulating the process because mine don't last like everyone else's, and apparently my behaviors do not change. Um, the only thing that does change is that I tend to eat a lot more when I am on my period, and I drink a lot more um, to replenish my sugar and everything. Well, so I give this lady a tampon, and I was like, I hope this is the size that works for you because it is the only one that works for me, and I don't carry any others around. And luckily, she has a pretty light flow, so that was okay. And she asked me if I was on mine. And I was like, no. Um, because of some stuff that is going on this month, my period was literally 1 day, and that was it. That was the end of it. There's no more. Um, since I had turned when I turned 22, my period was every month, but it only lasts 2 days. On very rare occasions, 3 days. I usually say it's 3 days long anyway, mainly because it starts at night on the first day, and then I have one full day, and then the beginning of the next day, and then it ends. Um, so I say it lasts 3 days. My mom already doesn't like me because of that because she has a very heavy flow and it lasts a week. Um, I've known someone who has a even worse than my mom's um, really bad flow, and it has to do with these clots and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't imagine that at all because the worst that I get are my cramps. That's the worst it gets for me. Um, I don't I tend to eat a lot more sweets and drink a lot more soda when I'm on my period, but that's about it. Everything else tends to stay the same. If anything, I tend to get a lot more tired and just wake up to eat, use the bathroom, and drink soda, and then go back to sleep. Um, my periods tend to be overly exhausting and really painful that I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting out of bed. I'm just going to roll over and go back to sleep. Um, that is, if I can sleep. I have an issue where I'm it's really difficult to fall asleep, so I kind of have to put myself into like this dream state to try and sleep. So basically, I make up this world in my head and uh, move the characters about how I want them to play out. And eventually, it takes a life of its own. And while I'm sitting there watching everything unfold, I usually tend to die. Um, and everything else still carries on after my death. It's Mhm. It's it's really difficult to fall asleep and to do anything else. A lot of people were like, "Well, if you can't sleep, then how are you sleeping when you're doing this and doing that? And how do you sleep every night and stuff like that?" It is a really long, grueling process, and it tends to be more of a how can I get myself to sleep, or what do I want to think about? And so I tend to, I've got this castle built in my head. And in that castle, I have people who I have deemed extremely dangerous locked up in a dungeon at the very bottom of the castle. And my mother and people that I know that I've ran into um, are in this castle, each and every single one trying to kill me. They usually succeed. Um, I die in my dreams every night. It's not a nightmare anymore, it's normal. And it tends to be a normal process for me to die and then not waking up. My dreams continue without me, and the story continues. Um, Usually, if I stick with the story long enough, my brain kind of exhausts itself and I pass out. And then when I wake up, I'm like, huh, when did I fall asleep? Um, Little Seizures Pizza? Why seizures? Oh, that's weird. Um, so yeah. Um, my mom was asking me about this recently about dying and stuff like that. Like, when you die in your dreams, do you wake up? Or if you're falling off of a cliff, do you wake up before you hit the ground? The answer to that is always no, I die. um, and usually when I wake up, I experience excruciating pain because of it. Um, Last night, I got mauled by a bear in my dream and it shredded my arm. And uh, I woke up feeling like my arm was being torn off. Oh, really? No, unfortunately not. It's just the way I would fight a bear. It just, but the circumstances depends on why I'm fighting the bear. Um, so my mother asked me if it was like a mental issue that I die in my dreams and stuff like that, because usually your dreams are trying to help you work through things. Mine have been like this since I was a kid, for as long as I can remember. I would not knock out its teeth. Unfortunately, I am not very good at throwing punches, but I would strangle it and pluck its fur out and skin it because, well, it's a bear. So it's attacking me, trying to take my burgers. Oh yeah, it would be dead in 10 seconds flat if it knocked my burgers onto the ground. I don't like wasting food. I have issues with it. So yeah, I would fight a bear. um so yeah, my mom was like, "Okay, who do you have locked up in your dungeons?" And one of them, I do not know who it is, but it's one of the first terrifying nightmares that I ever had was a magician who was obsessively chasing after me. And no matter where I hid, no matter who I was with, no matter who I had fighting with me or the powers that they had, this magician was coming after me and killing all of them, trying to get to me. And I managed to get a group of people that I knew that had these special abilities in my dream to lock him, to trick him so that I could lock him up. And I'm terrified because I know he can get out at any time he wants, but for some reason he's just staying in there. I'm not entirely sure why. Um, when it comes to food, I go completely insane. You don't take a fluffy girl's food from her. It doesn't work out for anybody. It's like Joey from Friends, don't share food and don't waste food. um I'm not sure who he is. Um he just kind of invaded my dream and kept chasing me around, and I actually felt terrified. It was one of the first dreams that I had never died in, and because of that, I woke up completely panicked. The second time I had a dream that I didn't die in, I woke up and ran to my mom's room and I was like, "Mama, mama, mama." I was like, "I just had a horrible nightmare." And she was like, "What is it?" I was like, "I just had a dream about two old men playing chess in a park." She was like, "That's a nightmare?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was terrifying." Oh, I can share food with other people. That's not a problem now. I've kind of managed to, if someone tells me they don't want something to eat and then try to take my food, that's when I've got an issue. Um, Unlike Joey, who doesn't share food at all, even with a baby, if someone offers me food or if I offer them food and they say that they're hungry, I'm going to share it. But if they said, like, like if you go up to your girlfriend or boyfriend and you ask them if they want anything from McDonald's or Wendy's or Whataburger or whatever, and they say no, and then try to take my food when I come back, that's when I've got an issue. You didn't want any, don't take it. If you want something, tell me, I'll get it. Fine. But I've been broke for years, so I can't do that anymore. Um, my dreams tend to consist of me always dying, usually at the hands of someone I know, past boyfriends, my mom, my sister, dads. No, if they're not going to accept food, fine. That's their problem. It's got nothing to do with me. It's their choice. um, oh, also, I don't know if any people live on this side of the world that I am on. Um, well, if anyone lives in the United States or anything like that, I am currently in Florida, and we have a big storm that is headed over our way starting in Texas, I believe. Um, Gang stalking? What is that? What is gang stalking? That's what I want to know. Like with a group of people and stalking someone? Like, is that what you're talking about? That was all middle school. um, I always had a group of people following me trying to basically beat the living crap out of me. Unfortunately, that does not work out very well for them. But yeah, we've got a big storm, which probably won't amount to much where I am. But I wanted people who are going to be in the more severe parts of this storm to be kind of weather aware. And people who don't know, I like religiously follow Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube and TikTok and all these other platforms that he goes on. And I obsess over him because not only is he just ridiculously funny, but he's kind of on point with all of the weather. And he kind of likes to make jokes about himself, but he's been through a lot. And he usually does this poll on his live streams on what he should eat for dinner if he has to do a really long live. And he basically lets chat make the decision for him, which I absolutely adore him. Unfortunately, he has not popped up in one of my dreams, which kind of sucks because I think it would be funny if the weatherman tried to kill me. Um, um, and so any there was one of his streams that hit really close to where I used to live. A serious storm. Unfortunately, my friend's phone, who was living there at the time, did not have any service, and they were having a power outage. So I had no way of knowing if she was okay or not. Luckily, one of my other friends happened to be close in that area and said they would drive over to check on the situation. And because she was following, she was one of the first people to introduce me to Ryan Hall. She told me that she was like, "Oh, I was watching this weatherman who stopped being a weatherman and went to YouTube, and he warned us about the storm ahead of time, so we went ahead and packed up the car and left." They had went to a storm shelter, and Thank God, because her trailer was demolished. Um, who is Richie? Okay, the way you worded that sounds really concerning. Looking for a girl who's of age. That's um that's really concerning. Yes, I am single. No, I'm not really looking for a relationship, mainly because I've just gotten out of a really horrible one. He's a famous YouTuber. What is his content? Because I'm really picky about my content. I'm kind of Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Smitty, um, Smitty, I believe it's Smitty, um, and Neebs Gaming, and I kind of just stick to them because they're what I know. Oh, he eats food in the shower and sleeps. I've got to say, I've never eaten food in the shower. I would not be against it though. Um, but at this point in time, I'm kind of working on my own mental issues because I'm still at a stage in my head to where I think I'm not worthy of anybody. No one should have to deal with my own problems because they're mine. And when I'm in a relationship, I tend to get overly obsessed and clingy, and I don't like that. So I'm trying to work some things out. Would I roll around in a mud pit? I'm not completely against it, but I wouldn't do it on camera. I'm one of those people that you would find laying down in the middle of the road during a thunderstorm just because I can. Um, when I was living in Washington, I absolutely hated the rain up there. It felt oily and sticky, so I wouldn't leave the house at all. I was literally huddled up in a ball under blankets trying to protect myself from the rain. Um, but the rain in Florida is freaking squeaky clean and it's nice and cold and it's oh I die every time it starts raining. Okay. Um well, my mom was having we were having to do some things and I was telling her about one of my dreams. One of my dreams mainly consisted of me and my mom ganging up on my sister in my dream because my sister kind of went haywire and kind of started to do this shape shift thing. And we were freaking out. We didn't know what to do. Um, and I woke up and I was telling my mom about what was going on. And it was on our last trip to North Carolina together to go and visit um, her mom and get some things done that I had to get done. And I don't really remember exactly what had happened to my sister in the dream, but she just kind of went nuts, and me and my mom decided that we were going to get our group and lock her up because we didn't understand what was happening. I woke up from that dream pretty early because of a thunderstorm. Luckily, I did not die, but that was pretty terrifying because I'm pretty sure if it had been allowed to continue, I would have died. And I don't like dying in my dreams, but unfortunately, it has become the norm. But anyway, people tend to have a lot of different things on how dreams are supposed to be. You wake up before you die. They're supposed to help you get through certain crises or problems that you're trying to work through. Um, it's helping you trying to solve a problem or make a decision or whatever. My dreams have never been like that. Um, my dreams consist of me dying 24/7. On very rare occasions, I don't die, and that for me is a true nightmare. Um, I tend to not post very often, mainly because I kind of have a situation of my own going on at this moment. Um, I have kind of strayed away from my usual video games because of it, so I'm not really on playing anymore. Occasionally, I'll still get on Among Us, but it's mainly just playing with kids now, and that's no fun. So I've kind of stayed away from that for the time being, and I have already beaten Subnautica on every difficulty and played creative and built a base throughout the entire ocean. I've kind of grown bored of my games already, although there are still some games that I have not finished playing on my PlayStation, mainly because it's an energy sucker and everything's expensive now, so just kind of leaving it be. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the way my brain is functioning right now. And anyone who is watching on YouTube or wherever, if you go to YouTube and you want to be updated on the weather or tornado situations or severe weather situations or anything like that, visit Ryan Hall Y'all on YouTube or TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. He's on all of them and he goes by the same handle every time. Extremely helpful and resourceful. But yeah, just wanted to do that. So I hope you guys have a beautiful morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever time of the day it is for you, and I will see you again soon.